I was about 7 years old, my brother about 10. It was well past our bedtime when our mom woke up from the couch and put us to bed. Our dad worked construction out of town back then, so it was often just the three of us alone in the house, for weeks at a time. Up the stairs and to the immediate right was our parents' bedroom. Going left put you in the middle of the hallway. Another left down that hallway led you to my brother's room. The opposite end was mine, directly across from the upstairs bathroom. At either end of the hallway were windowed doors we'd always keep locked and rarely used. One led to a balcony overlooking the front yard. The other opened into the back porch. The house itself leaning into a small hill. My brother and mom both had a habit of waking in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. I knew this because I was a light sleeper, and they always flushed with the door wide open. But this night, my brother stopped on his way to his room and turned back towards the bathroom. I'm going to try to use the restroom before bed. The past few nights, I've been too scared to walk to the bathroom. I keep seeing a man wearing stripes at the end of the hallway. I don't know if my mom brushed it off as one of his ghost stories meant to scare me, or if she was too tired to process what he'd just said. Either way, she didn't react. But I did. My stomach twisted. The idea of seeing a figure standing at the end of the hallway, or worse, through one of those doors, was enough to make me start running upstairs to my bedroom at night. Years later, when I was about 18, my mom and I were in the car talking about a dog we had for a short time when I was younger. We were laughing about how he used to destroy my shoes and cause all sorts of chaos, when she suddenly said, "Do you remember that time I opened the front door for the cops and he ran inside the kitchen and tore into that big bag of dog food we had?" I blinked, sat still confused. In all the years we lived in that house, we never once called the cops. I asked her what she was talking about. She looked just as surprised, like she has revealed something by accident. "Oh, that's right. I never told you," she said. "You were way too young at the time." She hesitated and then told the story. "One night, I woke up hearing noises outside my window. When I looked, there was a man staring into my bedroom." As she tells the story, a cold chill slightly runs through me. She went on to explain how turning on the light sent him running, how she grabbed my dad's pistol before calling the police. I can't remember all the details I gave them when they showed up, but he was tall, white male, striped shirt, jeans, short dark hair, something like that. They said it matched the description of a man they were looking for in the area. He had recently escaped jail and was being held there on a murder charge. The words settled like dead weight in my stomach. Hearing those two stories back to back, it should have clicked immediately. But it wasn't until years later, in my mid-30s, that I finally pieced it all together. My brother had unknowingly warned us about a murderer who had been standing at the end of our hallway, watching, waiting, night after night. Wow. The crazy thing about that story is I'm almost certain most people have a similar encounter to this, though probably not with a murderer. In fact, I have my own terrifying experience that I might have to share in the coming weeks. When I was around 12 years old, a man was outside my home casing it. And to this day, it remains one of my most frightening things I ever lived through, outside of the paranormal stuff I've shared. With that chilling tale behind us, and before we move on to story number 2, if you enjoyed the first story and want to hear more eerie encounters, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps me continue growing this channel and bringing you more spine-chilling content. Now, without further ado, let's get into the next story. This happened in 2013 when I was 17. My family was looking at a house, and the owner showed up to talk with my parents. He seemed like a nice, older man. Said he had built the house himself. It was a pretty 2-story home overlooking a river. While everyone was talking, I stood back and just observed. At one point, as the owner was laughing and chatting, there was a pause in the conversation. He turned slightly away from my parents, and in an instant, his expression changed. It went from a cheerful expression to the most sinister, hateful scowl I've ever seen. It was so fast and unnatural, like flipping a switch. I don't think he noticed me watching. I had my head down, probably looking like I was on my own phone. But the way his face twisted, just for that brief moment, made my stomach drop. Then, as quickly as it had appeared, the scowl vanished. He turned back to my parents, smiling again like nothing had happened. It creeped me out so much that I had told my mom about it later. She agreed it was weird, but brushed it off, saying maybe he was just socially awkward. We ended up buying the house, and a week later, we moved in. My family went to church on Sunday morning, but I didn't feel like going, so they left me home alone. It was around 11 a.m. when I heard this loud banging outside. It had a steady rhythm and was coming from the side of the house. I was upstairs on the opposite side, so I couldn't see what was making the noise. It was stormy that day, and at first, I thought it might be just the wind. The banging stopped after about 5 minutes. 10 minutes later, I heard footsteps downstairs. Slow, deliberate, then chairs scraping against the floor, kitchen cabinets opening, the fridge door swinging open. My stomach turned to ice. I immediately locked my bedroom door, grabbed a baseball bat, and called 911. As I gave them my address, I texted my mom. Someone is in the house. I called 911. The operator told me officers were 10 minutes out. That's when I heard the footsteps heading towards the stairs. The house was thin-walled. I could track exactly where he was. Step by step, he came closer. My mom texted back saying that she was on her way, but she was roughly 30 minutes away. That didn't help my situation. I was 17, barely 5'2", and 100 pounds. If he got in, I didn't stand a chance. The footsteps reached my hallway. I held my breath as I saw the handle of my door turn. It stopped. He was right there, just standing, not moving. I could hear his breathing, deep, steady, nervous. He stood outside my door for what felt like an eternity, though it was probably only 10 seconds. Then, finally, he turned and walked away. I heard the back door open and shut. 3 minutes later, the police arrived. The 911 operator asked if I could let them in, or if they needed to force entry. I knew he was gone, so I rushed down the stairs and let them in. They searched the entire house. No one was there. No signs of forced entry. Nothing. When my mom arrived, she immediately turned to my stepdad and asked if he had changed the lock since we moved in. He hadn't. The creepiest part, the one thing that really validated my story, my mother had vacuumed the hallway that morning. The carpet was freshly cleaned, but now, leading right up to my door, were shoe prints, larger than mine, larger than anyone's in the house. The police hadn't been upstairs yet, and the footprints just stopped, right outside my room. The old owner of the house died about a year later. So please, if you take my story seriously, if you ever move into a new home, change your locks. Both stories today featured unwanted intruders, serving as a chilling reminder of the dangers that can lurk where we least expect them. I understand and know why the Let's Not Meet Again subreddit isn't always fond of creators narrating these stories. While some may do it to share a quick and eerie tale, and others do it for a quick buck, I see them as more than that. I don't make money off these stories at all. Stories like these serve as warnings for me, reminders to lock our doors and windows at night, to change the locks when moving into a new home, and to stay vigilant. Not everyone in this world is dangerous, but the right person in the right situation can be. If you've ever wondered why I tell these stories, especially since for people who have been here from the beginning, they are different from my older content, this is why. To help keep people aware and safe. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And if you have a scary story you'd like narrated, drop a comment below. Until next time, take it easy. And as always, stay safe.